Hi and good evening and welcome to our Facebook Live this evening. I've got a very needy cat so I do apologise if he joins in this evening. That's Zach. I've been busy throughout the day, so he hasn't had a huge amount of attention, and so this is exactly when he wants his attention, when I'm just about to go live. So fingers crossed he doesn't join in too much. So I hope everybody has had a good day. Sorry, it is amazingly 31st of March on Thursday here in the UK. Can't believe it's the last day of March and we're into April tomorrow. I don't know where that time goes. I really don't. Hi Moretta. But there we are. It's the way it goes. 1st of April tomorrow. I am still fighting my cough, which I'm hoping is still not COVID, but increasingly it's getting closer and closer, I'm sure. So hopefully I'll get through this. Tested negative for the last 3 days, but I know that's no indicator at all. If you joined me yesterday or the day before, you will have seen that we used Waves of Inspiration, this stamp set here. Let me just pop it up on my screen so I can see what you can see. So we've got this one here, and the first card I did was actually this one here, but without the extra elements on the top, the glossy elements. That was our first card we did, using just the wave stamp, the bird stamp and the sentiment. And then the next card I did, so this was yesterday morning, was this one here. So again, use that same wave stamp. This time I applied clear embossing powder to some Versamark ink that I stamped over the top and made it heat set it, so it went glossy. Because it's a very fine stamp, it's glossy over, but it's not a large quantity. Added the pelican on the wood, and that's really easy to colour in. There's a lot of colouring already done for you. I just added a little bit of pale papaya in there, and then added the birds and a little bit of blending with the blending brush. And I haven't put a sentiment onto that one. Hi Brenda. Hi Jeanette. Lovely to have you ladies join us. Thank you so much. So just as a reminder, today is the last day for our 20% off bundles sale and 20% off our mini die cutting machine, and that's this one here. It looks huge, but these plates are only just over 3 inches wide, just to give you an idea for it. So I'm going to be using it this evening. So this is at 20% off, and there are also a whole selection of bundles that are 20% off up until 10 o'clock this evening. So if anybody's interested in those, I will excuse me, post the flyer in the Facebook, on the Facebook page, and I'll probably send out an email if you want to take advantage of that. So, I had an idea, and that is to find the stamp that I've just put on the table. It is to use some of our borders dies. So I've had these borders dies for a little while, hardly use them, and they come in a set. So if I can find the packet, would be useful. Here we go. So they're called basic borders dies. There's a set of 6, and they add stitching to your borders. So you've got this one here, rather like Rick Rack, and it does stitching on both sides. So you can put that in the middle of a card and both sides will be cut with stitching. This is the same thing but just a little more fancier. which is this one here, which I know you can't see because it's just white. And then you've got this border and this one here. Great for making sort of pretend pockets. This got a scallop and stitches, and this has got stitches and dots. Dots on one side, stitches on the other. But in addition to that, there are these two dies. So this one, which is like clouds, and this one which just like a curve, as you can see. So I had the idea to use the papers and create a scene with them laid up. So I have cut a few already because I couldn't decide which ones I'm going to use. So these ones are the ones that look like clouds. Hope you can see that sort of in the distance. They are all stitched as well. Okay, so this is using the Coordinating Designer series paper. So what I was thinking is creating this sort of scene like so with the different layers, and use the whale from Whale Done to be sat in between the layers. So that's my idea. Whether this works or not is another matter. Hi Tracy and Sarah and Nikki. So this is the stamp ready. Now I don't have the Whale Done punch, so I'm just going to stamp and fussy cut that out in a minute. And I'm just going to do a few more of these because I can't decide if I like the cloud effect, which I think looks quite good for the waves, or this effect, because you can of course put these together and build them up. So I'm just going to do a couple more of each so you can see the mini cutting machine in action, and then put two scenes together. So let's make a bit of space. Now I have a funny story to tell you because I've had a busy day and I'm not 100%. So I put this down on here, okay, like this. And I went over to get my mini die cutting machine. When I came back, it was like that. And I thought that was really odd, why that would turn on its own, because it was flat. So I put it back again and got everything ready, and it turned. And do you know what I'd done? I had underneath my Stamparatus with the magnets on. So I just put it on top here on the plates, and of course this spun round to find the magnets. I thought there was a poltergeist in the room. Anyway, that's today's funny story. So this is our mini die cutting machine. It does embossing as well, but you are limited obviously to dies that will fit in there, which to be fair I'd say at least 80% if not 85% of our dies will fit in there. It's only the larger ones or the big layering dies like the circles and things like that. The largest ones of those won't fit in. So I'm just going to pop that one on there, put my plate on top, and just pop that through there. Just going to hold on to it so it doesn't rock the table too much. Just needs one run through like so, and obviously you get a positive and a negative. This piece I've cut as 6 inches, so it's a little bit longer than the die. So I've got this one here, and obviously you could use either side of that. And then you've also got the negative of that, which I reckon you could also use for waves, you know, because it's sort of chopped up, isn't it? So there's another one of those, and I'm going to do a couple of the this one here, and then work out how to put it together. So I am going to, doesn't really matter, where I start these. Let's have this one right at the top to make it a little bit deeper. It was spooky. I sort of looked round to see, you know, but it was one of the cats had done something, Jeanette. It was really weird. And then it sank in, the fact that my Stamparatus was right there with the magnets. Okay, so I've got that one there. And you could also use that, although I've made that very tight in. So I was trying to work out what other things you could have popping out of the sea, but these could be clouds equally. You could also make these into mountains. If you cut different layers of greens, for example, you can make some great hills rather than mountains, I should say. You could use designer series paper, or you could use some sponges or a blending brush on the background. I think there's lots of different things that you could do. So there's that one. So this paper comes as 12 by 12 inches, and you get 12 sheets, 2 each of 6 designs. So I'm just going to do these and then I'll put them together. And now I haven't thought any further than this. This is as far as I got in my head, apart from getting the stamp set out to stamp the whale, because you wouldn't have the jellyfish out of the water. Okay, so there you see how easy it is to use that. And I have to say, when prepping for classes, the small one is much quicker because you've only got a small area to go through. So these are from our basic borders dies. So as I say, there's 6 altogether, and they really do need to have a little bit more use. So watch out for those coming. This would be great edge to create a nice edge for blending brushes for clouds and things like that. So I've got these ones here and these ones here. I've also got the negatives that I could use. So I'm not sure what I'm going to start with. Let me see what size that is. So let's make this 9.5 by 13.85. So I'm not quite sure whether to start with white or to start with the blue layer. And I'm just going to layer them up and then pop my whale in. So I've deliberately left excuse me, these pieces wider than my edge, and then I can trim them down. And you can obviously turn them over depending on what you've got and what you would like. So let's have a look, see. And you could definitely build this up with dimensionals as well if you wanted to. Let's do, I want some contrasting pieces, so this is what I can do. I can do that, for example, and that. So this really would make a nice mountain scene as well, wouldn't it? Okay, and I've got this one here. Just wondering if I need sort of one like that, or I could pinch one of these See what that looks behind. Yes, that's a bit too obvious unless I put it further down. I think I'm just going to turn that over and use that like so. Now you can't see necessarily, you can see the different colours of the layers. I'm just going to try and lift it up without losing them all together. So each one of these is a different layer. Hopefully you can see that. So what I'm going to do, and I could have that a little bit higher and move these up a little bit, and then if I've got any little gaps I could literally just tuck in a spare piece. So I think what I'm going to do is do a little bit of sky here. So I have a blue blending brush and I've got, let's see what I've got, balmy blue here. Just going to grab a piece of grid paper. Now what I want to do when I put these layers together is I want these layers to be at the back and then these layers lifted up at the front. So I'm going to work back to front. And before I start, I'm just going to, what I might do is let's just try this, to add a little bit of sky. So I'm just making sure I've got some ink on there. Got ink on here, but it doesn't matter, that's going to be covered up. So I'm just using this as a mask, like so, and then move around a little bit. And then you can do it a little bit darker where those edges are, like so. Hopefully you can see that. Well, I don't know about you, but the weather here today was really weird. So one minute we had bright sunshine, the next minute we're in the middle of a rather healthy snowstorm. Hi Laura. And then it was sunny again. And then it was snow. So we had, I think we had about 3 or 4 separate sort of snowstorms. Oh, it's on my fingers, isn't it? All together. Right, I'm just going to lift this up so that you can see it a little bit better. Like so. It's quite obvious for me, less obvious for you. I think it's because of the light. So I'm just going to make this one a bit darker, just so that you can see it really. Hopefully. Like so. Hopefully you can see that a bit better. Looks like I've got me puffy clouds. And you could of course turn this over so that you've got clouds sort of the other side. Does that make sense? And just apply a little bit of ink here so that you've got what is like a white cloud. Okay, I'm not worried about my messy fingers getting ink everywhere because this is all going to be covered up. So you'll have to let me know whether you like this one, and I'm not worried I've got a bit of ink on there, or this one. So I'm going to start with this one here, and then I'm going to sort of build it, hopefully build it back like that. So let's put this layer down, and what I'm going to do is just let it go off the edge of the paper. And you could do this with torn strips as well. So I've chosen to use the dies because I wanted to give them a bit of love. But you could just use strips of paper if you wanted to. So this one is going here. Like that. And then what I want to do is make sure I'm choosing contrasting pieces, and obviously depending on the colour on the back, I'm not going to use this, but this would make a lovely seashore, wouldn't it? Like so, the sand at the bottom. But we're not doing sand today, so I think what I'm going to do is put that one like that, and I think I'm going to have that one flat. And then these two on dimensionals. And then I've got enough space, hopefully, for my whale to fit in. Come on. So I hope everybody is keeping well. Come on. I don't think I picked up the wrong one. Hey ho. Okay, so this one just making sure that I haven't got a gap in there, but I could easily fill it in if I did. Okay, the next one's going to go on with dimensionals, which I think was this one here. Actually, this might be better because it's got a lighter bit on this side. So I'm just going to make sure that that works. Which it does. Like so, and then I'll put another little bit in there. So I think what I'm going to have to do is stamp my whale to work out how I'm going to fit it in. So before I do any more of that, I've got some piece of white here and my whale stamp. And I think I'm going to go basic grey. Let's have a look and see. I want it to be a contrast. Okay, let me just... Sorry, just replying to somebody's message, trying to get hold of me. Right, long time since I've used this. Let's just grab block. stamp that. There's the whale. I'm going to do another one. I think it will stand out enough. I don't really want to do a black one. I could do navy, but let's just try that. Now I have got the whale punch, so I'm just going to fussy cut that out. So you can amuse yourselves whilst I'm fussy cutting, if you wish. Let's have a look. Get back to where we were. Okay. Right, glasses are off. So I'm pleased to say that this stamp set and the borders dies are carrying over. They're not on our retiring list. So some of the items on the retiring list have sold out. Some of the items that were previously unavailable to order have now come back into stock. So if there is something you're after and on the website you got the message unavailable to order, then there's a reasonable chance it's back in stock for ordering. Okay. I'm hoping this is going to stand out enough. It would be quite nice to stamp this with some clear embossing powder. So that it was shiny. But I could put some of that shimmery crystal effects on that I was using. Okay, there's my whale. He will do for the moment. Oh, hi Linny. Thank you for joining us. So we're doing a little bit of work with those fun papers from the waves. And I thought I'd add in make some waves, as it were. I was going to use this one, wasn't I think. Something like that, and then I'm going to fill in the gaps with those odd pieces like so. So I just want to work out where my whale is going to go. So my bottom two ones are fixed down. It'd be quite good fun to have a whole line of those, wouldn't it? Let's see. I don't want to cover too much of him up. What do you reckon? Maybe down there is better. Wanting to be sort of in the waves. Sorry, you can't really see that very well. Let me lift that up to the screen. So I'm going to have him tucked in there a little bit. So I think I'm good to put this one down here. So I'm going to put my dimensionals along the bottom from there. This sort of here. Mark the right side. So on there. Like that. Just going to, don't need a little one in the corner because it's going to fall off the end anyway. That's my last one. Okay, let's put that down. So I've left the top of this open to tuck my whale into. And I'll trim off the edges. Let's try that. So. And then he can sit somewhere in there. What I might do is put another corner one in here. Right, let's pop this one on. So I'm going to leave that hole, just put glue along the top and dimensionals along the bottom. In fact, what I could do, oh hello, Zach's joined us. If you're wondering what that shadow is, lighter part of the way so he shows up. Yes, good idea, Lily. Good idea. Okay, so these are going along the bottom so that this piece will be supported. And I've got edge pieces that I can use to fill in, and I can always cut, always cut another one if needs be. Actually, I'm not going to stick down the top of that. Oops. Just going to I've got an extra dimensional there. Just going to trim this off here. Take that away. I'm going to have this a little bit further along. I know it means I've got to fill that piece in, but I'm happy with that. Like so. And now I've got this little piece here that I can tuck in. Take that dimension off. Like so. Okay, or I can use a darker piece, and I'm going to trim these pieces off. So you can see the effect, hopefully, like that. Let's just trim these off. Actually, got I've got too much choice. I think that would work in there. Oh, decisions, and that would cover up both of those pieces. Okay, just leave that on there for a minute and see where our whale is going to go. I think he's got to go in over here. Like so. What do you think? Does he look a little bit too far in? I wonder. I mean, they do surface right out, don't they? Use that piece with the cover upside. Oh, that's what you said. I think that's what you meant, Lynn. That's that. I only just seen your comment. I'm sorry. Okay, so I'm going to stick this piece down because I think that will work perfectly across that bottom. And what I'm going to do is put a small piece of dimensional in this corner to support it. That, and also in that little corner there. So this is the Waves paper that's on limited edition while stocks last. But as I was saying, you could do this with layers of green for fields and things like that. You could have the windmill in it. You could have, if you use the flowering tulips papers, that would also work. Let's see which one of these is going to look best. This one, I think. Okay, so let us put just that little bit of glue across there. Normally I would put the glue on the piece that I'm working on, but that's it. So, a little bit of glue on that one. Just going to use the edge of this to pop it on underneath there. Then I'm going to trim that, and the same with this one. And then I've just got to decide where the whale's going to sit. What do we think? In there? Feels about right. You just have a look at your comments. Whale on the right, leaving a space for sentiment to the left in the sky. So like in there. I feel like it's a little bit too far out. Too far out. And we've got, in terms of sentiments, thanks a ton. Whale done. My love for you is bigger than the ocean. You're kind of a big deal. Hoping all your birthday fishes come true. Or I might just use You're So Totally Awesome. and the birds in the sky. Definitely going to have those birds. Okay, what I'm going to do is trim this down, layer it up. So just using my scissors next to the edge, like that. And I'm thinking I've got a white base card, and then I could use Night of Navy or Pacific Point behind. Let's see what we think. So there's my scene. Like so, on the white. So let me just cut that down, and then I'm going to stamp the birds, the sentiment, and I'm going to try Night of Navy. Pick up the depth of that blue. Just going to cut this in half to start with. Hope you're feeling better, Lynn, by the way. I know you were exhausted over the weekend. So this would be 14.35. The other measurement is 10 centimetres. This layer down. I've got Night of Navy for this only because I used Pacific Point for our ones yesterday. So just a variation. Okay, so just going to deliberate where he's going to go. I sort of feel that works. Okay, so let's do You're Totally Awesome. I know a lot of awesome people. Right, see how straight I can stamp that. Going to do that in Night of Navy. Oh, bless you. Yeah, I'm feeling okay actually. As long as I don't think about coughing, I'm fine. Still testing negative, but I'm taking it one day at a time, testing every day. Okay, slightly downhill. That'll do. So, where is our whale going, folks? Here. Or a bit further down where you can see more of him. Like that. He's going there. Ooh, I hope I've done that right. Yes. Result. Right, here he is, or she. Could be a she. So, a light touch for the birds. Scott was watching. It's his big bird. Little bird. It's a bit close. Go. Okay, this is going to go onto a white card, and I've just got to affix our whale. Oh, thank you, Lynn. Who knows? You know, I think it is sort of inevitable, really. But at least this variation doesn't seem as bad. I wanted to put him up on dimensionals. No, go put him flat. Or her. Him or her flat. And get the glue out. There we go. So that idea did work using those border dies to make it look like waves. There we go. It could be a bit further down, but there we have it. And that's going to go onto a white card. And then I have got these other ones. So I'm desperately trying to think what else we could have in our water. Obviously we could have the pelican on its post. What I could try is a vertical scene. So in portrait rather than landscape, which could be a little bit more height. There we go, there's our finished card. So all these layers, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I was thinking, so this was the other option, to have these like so, which also work. And also you could use these for clouds, but I wonder, just to show you something different, if I do these, I was thinking of doing them vertically, but actually I haven't got enough. So let's do another quick one, and could have our pelican cut out. Oh, I've got the dies for the pelican. If I had a brain, I'd be dangerous, folks. Okay, here we go. This will be the quicker version. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Jeanette. Have a good weekend yourself. So let's do this one somewhat quicker. So 9.5, 13.85, like that. could use a blue to start with, of course. Doesn't have to be white to start with. Could definitely be a blue one. Right, let's just get back to where I was on the screen so I can see you all. Okay. So let's do this a bit quicker. So, and again, I'm just going to alternate them. So I've got a light and a dark. Got some different ones there as well. Like so. So what I'm going to do this time is stick this one down here. I'm just going to mark with a pencil roughly where it's going to go. So a small amount of glue, and I'll do my sky afterwards. So, and what you can do is cut them in different ways. So if you see this one is cut the opposite way, so I turned it over. So if I turn it over, it's the same size, same details. If you turn it over, then you get them coming the other way, like so. That one and that one. So I just need to make sure I bring those as far down as I can. So I'm going to do this one flat. So if you haven't got the borders dies, you could certainly just tear paper if you're feeling brave. I'm just going to bring that over. So you don't even need to have these straight. And then, is that a better one to put there maybe? Yeah, so it's got a contrast in colour. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put these two together like that. Let's put a bit of tape. Hello Claire, I hope you're well. Hope you're over your COVID. I'm just putting a little bit of tape on the back of this to hold it. Like so. And that's going to go onto there. Oh, I left a bit too much of a gap, look. So, just going to fill that in with a little bit of this. Will work. Just going to stick that over the gap. Just want to get the position right before I stick it. Yeah. So, a little bit Heath Robinson this bit. Stick that down. So, and then this bit is going to go on, but I'm going to stamp move that out of the way, my pelican, who is already out. There he is. Can't remember what colour I stamped him in yesterday. I think I did early espresso. Excuse me. Do it this way. There we go. And I did a little bit of colouring in, I think, with crumb cake. Otherwise, you're not going to see him, are you? So just adding a little bit of dark crumb cake. That, and then the rest will be light. So I'm just recreating this element of it, like so. Sorry, this has turned out to be a lot longer, but we have got 2 cards for the price of 1. How about that? Is that one? So there is a die that cuts out the pelican and this piece of wood. You could also fussy cut it. Go. And tiny bit of smoky slate. Yeah. Little bit for the beak and the feet, that will do. Okay. Okay, so this is our piece here. The poor pelican's going to be right in the middle. Let's just trim this down and grab the die. And these dies, as well as cutting out those fabulous waves and clouds, also have these lovely labels, so a label across there would be really nice. Just pop this through. Just got to look for my plates. I've taken my glasses off. Here they are. So I say this is the last day to get this little machine at 20% off. And in fact it does increase in price with the new catalogue as well. exactly right. Okay, top plate on. Send my glasses flying. There we go. Once through, that's all we should need. Right, there we go. So, oh, bit of a long way up, isn't he? Let's see. Like so. I wonder if he's sort of facing the wrong way to have further over. I like them to sort of face in. Could angle that down a little bit, like so. There he is. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just sort of mark there to avoid the glue. I'm going to glue around it. Add a little bit of sky. Blending brush. Cassie wants to go out. Sorry, Cassie. Hello, Carol. Hope you've had a good day. There we go. I could have done quite a stormy sky really, couldn't I? But never mind, that will do the job. That's going to go onto there. I'm missing this bit here, not putting glue on there, and it will go to the bottom, so I can put glue over the rest of it. Actually, what I'm going to do is put the glue onto here. Although I was going to use dimensionals. Never mind. And I haven't left that bit completely clear. Okay. I'll work with it. This is very good for sensory, because you can feel the different waves, and I guess you could sort of fold those over a little bit if you wanted to. Okay, let's find our pelican. I might need to chop some of him off to fit in there. Sorry. Mr. Pelican. Okay, I do need to let Cassie out. I don't want to puddle. Excuse me 1 minute. Right, I'm back. Not sure who I've got left watching, as it's gone on rather too long. But sometimes when you're mid-flow, you just have to do it. Okay, so I'm going to trim these off. You could use a guillotine or trimmer as well. I'm just using my scissors. I'm keeping the blade next to my edge there, though it doesn't look very straight. Go. That's better. Let's do the same on this side. There we go. We are then going to stick him down flat in that sort of gap there. So a little bit of glue. Let's pop that in. Get him straight. Right, and let's just mount that up. I've got another bit of Night of Navy. Just offset it nicely. There must be another piece here somewhere. There it is. So now I need you to go away and look at all of the stamps and see what else I can have in my sea. We don't have dolphins, do we? There we go. Oops. Let's nearly run out. Let's try this one. There we go. So scribble of glue onto my Night of Navy card. So that's going to go onto white card. And with that, oh, that's tatty. Hello. I think I put some birds in, but I'm not sure what sentiment I'm going to add to this one. So there we are. Right. Let's grab my bird. I might add a sentiment later on one of those labels. There's two really nice labels that have little holes in them, which is perfect for a ribbon. Let's clean that off. Okay. And let's have one. 2. There we go. That's our finished second card. It looks like a really heavy storm, doesn't it? Poor pelican. Okay, obviously you could use the yacht or the punch with the boat. Let's sail away, although I thought that was a little bit threatening if I did that. But there we go. So those are our cards from the last couple of days. So the stamp set and the dies are available. The papers are available currently while stocks last. And the gems as well that I haven't used. I don't think it's needed them. They're also available while stocks last. Let me just show these up slightly closer. So there's that one. And that one. Let me know which you like the best, whether it's the whale or the pelican. And that's it for now. So remember, today's the last day for your 20% off the bundles. I will pop a post here and also an email out to everybody. Moody and stormy. It's very stormy, isn't it? Thank you, Lynn. So take care, everybody. I should be at Coffee and Card tomorrow unless I test positive. But if I do, I have somebody ready to stand in. So Coffee and Card will go ahead. I'll pop a post on my Gemini Crafts page. So anybody local watching that would join us, that will go ahead. Regardless, that's 3 till 4 in the Red Lion. So thank you so much. Glad you liked the cards. Thanks, Brenda, Lynn, Tracy, and whoever is still watching. I know Jeanette's probably gone. So thanks, everybody. I appreciate your time, Moretta, if you're still there as well. And I look forward to crafting with you again really soon. Thank you so much, and happy April Fool's Day for tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. Take care now. Bye.